Morning, everyone, and welcome to a weekly message from Jesus. Each week, we bring you a live channel message from our Lord, and each week it's a spectacular message. So I know He's here, so allow us to begin. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I know it is a very, very difficult time for everyone. It's very important that you hear my words. When you hear my words, you have absolute knowledge that I'm here, that I'm speaking with you. And many people just ignore the fact that it is possible to hear my modern words and to hear what I have to say. Today, I want to speak to you about being all you can be. I know you've heard this line before that I want you always to do your best. But unless you hear my words, you're not going to really understand the path to being all you can be. Help others. Try to lead others to me. Pass on my words. Do all of the things that you know that I did in life. I had a very simple life, actually. Even though I had these incredible abilities of God, I lived a normal life for most of it. My ministries only lasted 3 years, and I did all that I could do in those 3 years to bring people to understand the words of the true one God. The members of the Jewish faith, they had background in understanding a single God. But the vast majority that were around me, the Romans, they worshiped many gods. And if you went to other areas of the Roman Empire, you would see just how devoted they were to their many gods. Every house that you would go into in Rome had idols, different types of idols. You had gods of war, gods of love. I guess even a god of hatred. I don't know that. But they had a god for everything. For you, you only have a single God, and that's all that's important. I have the energy, I have the power to do pretty much anything that needs to be done in my galaxy. But I have chosen Earth as a place where free will reigns, so that souls can come back and learn lessons, so that souls can come back and do what they wish to do. I wish that you are all that you can be. To be that, you just simply have to follow my simple words. When I walked the earth, I told the people to live a good life, to do unto others as you would have them done unto yourself. That was something everyone could understand. That was so simple. Sometimes I might have gotten a little complicated in what I was telling them, but I never spoke in difficult language. The people that were listening to me, they were very simple people. Most of them were uneducated. Most of them did not know how to complicate their lives. They knew they had to marry, they knew they had to have children, and they knew they had to support the children. Today, that basic concept has escaped many individuals. Many people, the men that live in poverty, that live in the inner cities, many of them have children and don't support them intentionally. They walk away. These people need to look in a mirror and understand that in their future lives, they will have fathers that walk away from them, and they will understand just how difficult it is for a mother to keep raising the children. Sometimes even the mothers give up and turn the children over for adoption. Quite often, if the mother has a drug problem and knows it can't support the child, this can really be the best thing they can do for the child. The odds are pretty good that a baby will be adopted into a family that wants a baby. And many individuals have trouble conceiving, and adoption is a wonderful alternative for them. They will be incredible parents because, in general, they've tried for years to have a child. But perhaps it was in their life plan that they would know the frustration of having a child. They may have done something in a prior life and had a lesson to learn. But abortion gives them a way out. Yes, then the baby will not be born of the mother, but it is a child that needs love and care. And it is a child that perhaps the parents could not care for. Every child deserves a good family. Every child deserves a father and a mother that will love them. Many times the mothers love the child, but know that it is best to put it up for adoption. And that is very sad because now the mother that gives the child up, for the rest of her life, she will wonder what that baby became. Sometimes they learn, but most times they don't know. Life, life for humans is very, very difficult in many aspects. Humans choose political systems, and sometimes those political systems make it incredibly hard for that individual, for all individuals. Many politicians, as you hear me say many times, do not really care about those that have elected them. They will lie to them, and then when they get into office, they'll do exactly what they want. All individuals have to be very, very cognizant of who they elect. Many people are very deceptive. Many politicians are actually evil. Many politicians have used their position to gain great wealth and power. But when they die, they will come into heaven and they will be empty handed as they were at birth. You see, perhaps it's like being twice a child. When you're born, you don't know anything, you don't have anything, and you depend upon your father and your mother. When you die, you will come into heaven with nothing, and you will depend upon me, your father, once again. Your physical parents will probably be there to see you and to greet you when you come to heaven. But the most important father that you have is your God. God is the most important thing in your soul life, in your human life, in all aspects of everything that a soul energy does. The soul will reincarnate because it has human lessons to learn. Hopefully, in that short lifespan that the human has, it learns the lessons it was sent back to learn. Many do, and sadly, many don't. Many don't even believe that God exists or there is an afterlife. They'll find out the hard way. Many think that when they die, it's all over, that that's the end. Or many think that if they lived difficult and lives that went against their religious teachings, that they would be going to this burning hell. I keep telling you that there's no burning hell, but there is a lower level in my realms of heaven where the truly evil go. They will not spend eternity suffering from fire and brimstone, but they can spend a very, very long time in this realm of nothingness. You don't want any part of what evil brings you. Many people that just simply harm others and don't do what I want them to do wind up being put into lower levels. And in those levels, they will associate with the same type of souls, souls that made the same types of mistakes, souls that didn't listen to what I'm telling them, souls that refused to believe, and souls that would even go so far as to lead others away from believing in me. There are many ways to get into lower levels, but there's really only a couple ways, and they're all related to get into the upper levels. You believe in me, you follow my words, you help others. You do all the simple things that I ask of you. If you have excess money, help others. I'm not telling you to give away all the money that you need to support yourself in your later lives. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't leave your money to your children so that they can be of help. But the people that have left vast sums of money to the children, usually find that the children are very unhappy. Many of them find early deaths because they go to drugs. They think that having money makes them very, very special, even though they never did anything to earn it. That that is a real conundrum for humans that have great wealth. I want you, if you have excess funds, to use it to help others. But I also want you to prepare for your retirement, your old age. In old age, people's health deteriorate. That's the way it is, because if your health didn't deteriorate, you wouldn't die. And if you didn't die, you wouldn't come to heaven. I want all of you to return so you understand how you lived your lives. I want all of you to live a good life, help others, and join me in heaven. Join me in the realms where you are rewarded for good lives. Do not be penalized by being sent to realms where people that have lived bad lives go. It's a very simple process. If you follow my words, live a good life, you advance in heaven. What is complicated about that? You don't have to listen to proverbs about or parables about how if you do this, then this happens, and maybe that'll happen, and maybe you'll now understand. There are a lot of things in the Gospels that just simply have been distorted through the years. They may have been stories of faith, of help, of love, and through the years, people thought that they needed to be complicated. They don't need to be complicated. Your life doesn't have to be complicated. In many instances, religions have become very businesslike, very dictatorial. If a religion tells you that there is only one path to heaven, and it's not the path of living a good life, they're not telling you the truth. There are many religious individuals that are living very extravagant lifestyles. I don't want that. If you look at the great religious leaders of modern times, and Billy Graham, my son, was one of them. We sent him back, and he lived a very good life. He made mistakes. He told people lessons that essentially weren't true, but he led people to believing in me. And once you believe in me, then all things become possible. If you don't believe in me, you don't have guidance. If you don't pray to me, I don't know what's on your mind. You see, I'm a universal energy, or a galactic, let's keep it a little more simple, a galactic energy. Part of my energy is in everyone's heart. I tell you this all the time. That is what your conscience does. It relies upon that energy of me. It helps you tell right from wrong. There has to be a basic energy like that. Otherwise, you would have no assistance. Keep in mind, there are many humans in primitive areas that have never heard of me, never heard of Jesus, never heard of God. But they know there are sacred spirits, and they worship them in different ways. And that energy that I put into each and every human, that's a foundational energy. It's an energy everyone can build on. There are many people that don't believe in the Christian God that I was. That's fine, as long as you believe in a God that helps lead you to a good life. Many people follow many paths to heaven, and there are many paths. There is no single path. The easiest path, obviously, is just simply to believe in me. But the obvious path that I speak of for all religions is living a good life. Many people are not aware of organized religions. They may live in very rural areas. They may be very primitive in their beliefs. You see, ancient humans were very primitive, but they learned that there was a spirit, that there was an energy. Even the most primitive humans, they began to believe in some type of energy and spirit. How do you think the primitive peoples lived their lives before there were organized religions? Do you think they all went to hell? Well, you're very mistaken if you believe that. Even the most primitive humans had souls. They came back to learn lessons that they needed to learn. Many of them never heard of God. Many of them never heard of faith or Jesus or any of all the things that you have access to. In ancient times, truly ancient times, the souls lived much more primitive lifestyles. Let's take the Neanderthal man as an example. They were learning very basic things. They had to learn to hunt. They had to learn to feed their families. The same basic lessons many humans have to learn today. You have to learn to support your family. That was a basic lesson. That basic lesson came before they understood God or the special energies. But they started to understand. They would have individuals from other planets come to them and help them. They would see things. They would start to understand that there was more to life than just simply eating food. Many people today, they still refuse to accept the fact of an afterlife and of a God. If the most primitive people could start to come to an understanding of God, why is it today that the highly educated people don't? That they come to the conclusion sometimes that God doesn't exist. Many people use these great educations to prove the fact that I don't exist. Many people use these great educations to prove that even the most brilliant can be fools. They cannot come to the right conclusions. I try to lead them. My angels try to help them. Holy Spirits try to help them. But sometimes people still use the so-called proof that they come up with in their number systems that God doesn't exist. I do exist. I'm talking to you from heaven. I'm talking to you through Barry. I could choose to just speak to you directly. I could form. You could see Jesus sitting in a chair in place of Barry. But I intentionally don't do that because I want you to have faith. Faith is a foundation. Faith is a belief. Faith is knowing that something exists when you can't prove it. I don't want to prove it to you. I want you to come to the conclusion that I exist. I could do it. It'd be very simple. I could snap my fingers and every individual, every human would immediately know that God exists. But then if I did that, that took away the learning curve, the ability that you have to prove it to yourself, the ability that you have to understand faith. Faith is one of the most important things that you can have. If you have faith, then you know that God will protect you, that I will protect you from many things. I will especially protect you as best I can from evil. But if you make decisions that bring evil into your life, then I can't. I will step back and I will allow whatever is to happen to you. But if you have this great faith, if you pray to me, if you speak to me in conversation, and you do not have to have memorized prayers for me to hear you. If you say, Lord, I need to have a conversation with you, I will listen to you and I will do the best I can. I want to know what's in your heart. That is very important. What you truly believe. Do not try to deceive me in prayers that you believe and follow every step and then go out and do the exact opposite. Just simply have a conversation of truth with me. Tell me what is in your heart, what you want, what you need, how you can spread your life, how you can help others. Ask for guidance in that. That is really important. Ask me how you can help lead the children to me. Ask me how you can better serve. All of these things are truly vital and they're so simple to do. All you have to do is speak what's in your heart. Speak the truth, because when you come to heaven, there are no liars in heaven. We will tell them. There are people that try to deceive us so that their guides put them in better levels, but that never works. You see, we truly understand you. We truly understand everything about you. And we know what lessons need to be learned in your life, and we know what lessons you didn't learn. And the lessons you didn't learn will have to be learned in future lives. But it is always the best path to simply use your common sense. Rely on the energy that's in your heart that tells you right and wrong, your conscience. You know when you're not doing right. You know when you're doing wrong. If you continually pick fights and arguments with people, they're going to pick fights and arguments with you. If you consistently show love to others, the odds are very good that you will be loved by others as well. Do not be remembered for being an evil person that hurt others. Be remembered as someone that always was there when help was needed. So I thank you. Once again, I'm going to bless every one of you that listen. Please try to bring these words to others. It's the best thing you can do, because then they'll know what they have to do. I'm not going to interfere with the free will, but I'm going to try to lead as best I can. And that is why I take time to bring you these messages every week. Go forth and help others. Show the love that I showed when I lived my life. Live a simple life of goodness. Help others, especially help the young to learn of me. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being who you are. I know that you people go out of your way to try to help others, to give blessings to others, and to have others learn my words. We'll be back again next week. Thank you so much. Thank you for being who you are. I'm blessing each and every one of you as I do every week. Have a blessed week. Love God and do your best. Goodbye. Another really good message. It was simple, to the point, an incredible amount of information there to hear. Try to bring others to hear these messages. It's the best you can do. So goodbye. I assume we'll be back again next week if he wants to allow me to stay here for a while longer. So thank you all for listening. Tell others, and have a blessed week.